Today is a special day at the C.W. Prescod Primary School in which we have the reopening of our library. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome one and all. And as we begin our program, we would invite God's presence as I invite a member of the literacy faculty, Mrs. Luana Wilson-Butte, to do an opening prayer. Yes.
Blessed be the name of Jesus. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. God, I want to thank you for your mercies and your faithfulness towards us. I want to thank you, God, that we are gathered here today to celebrate the reopening of the library. God, amidst the pandemic, you have kept us. And God, we want to thank you for your faithfulness, for being here today. God, I give thee praise and honor and glory for all that you have done, for all that you are doing and will continue to do for us. God, I ask your leading and direction today on today's proceedings. Lord, I thank you for your blessings on C.W. Prescod Primary School, and also those who have blessed us in making this reopening possible. Lord, I'm asking you to outpour your blessings on them, Jesus. Give them an overflow. Open the windows of heaven and pour out your blessings upon them, so they would have an overflow, God, of your blessings. God, bless Mustique Charitable Trust. Bless Hands Across the Sea. CIBC Bank, God, all those who contributed generously towards the upkeep of our library, Jesus. Lord, continue your good work in them so that they would continue, God, to be a blessing to others, God, and to continue, God, in whatever way they can to bless C.W. Prescod Primary School. God, I ask your further blessings on the principal of C.W. Prescod Primary School, on the teachers, on the pupils, God. God, awakening them that desire to read so that they would fully utilize the library, oh God, to their fullest potential. God, continue to be with us. Continue to lead, guide, and direct us through these proceedings as we give you thanks, honor, and glory in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
You will remain standing for the National Anthem, which will be accompanied by pan. And as I give way, I now call on our esteemed principal, Mrs. Suzette Abbott-King, to give some brief remarks. Representative from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Asif Dover. Education Officer for Early Childhood, Mrs. Marva Baino. Project Coordinator of the Mustique Charitable Trust, Ms. Dolores Malcolm. Literacy Links for Hands Across the Sea, Mrs. Yvette Pompey and Mrs. Ina Bullock. Human Resource Officer for St. Vincent, CIBC First Caribbean, Jacinta Hines.
Literacy Coordinator, Mrs. Ann Gordon, teachers, students, the media, good morning. It's indeed a blessed morning for us here at the CW Prescod Primary School. It is with great pleasure that I welcome all present to the reopening of the CW Prescott's Primary School Literacy Center. This facility has gone through tremendous transformation over the past decade. Today, our hearts are filled with immense gratitude as we are fortunate to have the opportunity to witness the reopening of our refurbished library. To get our library up and running was no easy task. Although the room was available, our major challenge was the sourcing of books and seating accommodation. On many occasions, we embarked on numerous book drives and sought sponsorship, but were unable to successfully stock the library in a desirable manner. Many of the books we had were outdated and not student-friendly, and the seating accommodation were vividly absent. During my tenure as literacy coordinator, an assessment of the school's reading level was done. It was very noticeable that an upgraded literacy center was an absolute necessity. We are quite aware what the research says about the presence of libraries in schools. One voice declares that a library is a wonderful place. It is a place where we can get away from the noise of the world. It is a place where we can sit down and do research and read a book. A lively, welcoming, and well-resourced library gives pupils positive experiences of books. Its role is to help create confident, enthusiastic readers and engage children in lifelong learning. There is a clear link between the quality of a school's library and the general well-being of the students and their literacy levels. Additionally, libraries are very important cornerstones of a healthy school. We could not sit back and let our students lose these opportunities and experiences. Our dream of having an upgraded library, school library, became a reality when a colleague of mine mentioned that she was attending a meeting with some book donors. I remembered saying to her, "Say a word for CWP." The rest was history. After the meeting, CW Prescod Primary School was honored to receive books from hands across the sea through the efforts of two advocates of literacy, Tom and Harriet Linsky. The efforts of these two individuals are second to none. With their expertise and connections, they were able to supply our school with hundreds of books of all genres. Words cannot express our gratitude to these two wonderful individuals for their great efforts in helping to raise the literacy levels of schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the region. Upon receiving the books, the Literacy Committee saw the need for the library to be more student-friendly. Consequently, we embarked on making the facility more attractive to students. This was made possible through the fundraising committee and the talented Mr. Parnell Robinson. As the years rolled on, seating accommodation was still an issue. The school, after hearing about the generosity of the Mustique Charitable Trust, wrote to them for assistance for the furnishing of the library. After a few weeks, we got the news that our proposal was honored, and we were so happy. Today, we have a well-furnished library, thanks to Ms. Dolores Malcolm and the Mustique Charitable Trust, and they deserve a round of applause. Words of gratitude must be expressed to our former librarian, Ms. Noella Duncan, who has since migrated. Ms. Duncan brought new life to our library. Her work was exemplary. To date, she was able to successfully train over a dozen student librarians who will be receiving their certificates today. We thank Ms. Duncan for a job well done. After undergoing major transformation, We are here today to celebrate our achievements under the theme Enhancing Literacy Through the Use of the Library. We are also celebrating the Hands Across the Sea Literacy Award. Our main curricular focus is on literacy and numeracy. The reading ability of our students is of paramount importance. And although the reading levels of some of our students are not where it should be, we can safely say that we are making strides. There have been improvements in some students, while others are making steady progress. We are cognizant of the fact that there is still a lot of work to be done. At this point, I want to make a special appeal to teachers. Commit yourself to teaching reading. Use a variety of strategies. Too many of our teachers are looking at their colleagues with a literacy certificate behind their names to do the job. We are all teachers of reading and must make a conscious effort to do so. Neil Gaiman, an English author, has recently said that the simplest way to make sure we raise literate children is to show them that reading is a pleasurable activity, and that means finding books that they enjoy and giving them access to those books and letting them read them. The resources and information are readily available to us by the click of a button. As we celebrate our achievements, let us join forces and use whatever resources are available to us to raise the literacy levels of our students here at the C.W. Prescod Primary School and by extension, students across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you very much.
Very well said, Madam Principal. You have talked about the importance of a school library to raise the literacy levels of our school. And through partnership and the resources that we have here, I know that our children will move from strength to strength in reading. Now, one of the changes I spoke about on the program, we have remarks from SEO Primary School, Mrs. Joycelyn Blake Brown. That's one of the changes. So now we will hear an address from Mr. Asif Dover.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everybody. The Ministry of Education is indeed in good company, Hands Across the Sea and the Muslim Charitable Trust. It is indeed a wonderful thing when you can hear that reading is on the move. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the world, we know that there's a vexing situation where reading is concerned. And one of the vexing situations is that it is not being taught. If I should borrow something from what the principal said, all teachers are teachers of reading. Last year, when the Ministry of Education did an assessment of grade 2 and grade 3 students, we realized that students are reading below their grade level. Now, that was concerning and disconcerting to us. What we did was that we developed a manual. That manual was dubbed the Balanced Approach to the Teaching of Reading. It was sent to all schools. What that manual does is that it helps teachers to teach reading in a systematic way. So it teaches you, it shows you what to start with, what comes next, right up to the 12th step. What is also important in the manual is that it teaches you what is called variations in sounds. Now, all schools have that. The principal just said that all teachers are teachers of reading, and that manual helps you to teach reading. That manual can be used as a standalone or as a supplementary document. The opening of this library is momentous. Apart from the teaching of reading, which can help students improve their reading level, libraries can help. You may ask, how can libraries help? Libraries can help in what we call volume reading. So, Added to the balanced approach to reading, there is volume reading. Volume reading is when a student goes to the library or any resource department, takes a book, read it, takes another book, read it, and develops. He or she may not be able to read well, but the consistency that this adds to the child improves reading over time. So in addition, and I'm going to be quite deliberate. In addition to what the ministry has proposed, the balanced approach to reading, the Ministry of Education is really happy that C.W. Prescod has taken a charge in opening the school library. In a day, an age where everything is fast, internet, it is really wonderful to see that we're going back old school. Old school meaning that you're having children walking the halls, touching the walls, touching a book, flipping a page, learning what the author says in real time in a book. The Ministry of Education thanks the principal, the staff, the literacy coordinator, and the students for taking us back down the memory lane, because libraries seems to be becoming a thing of the past. We don't want that to happen. On behalf of the Ministry of Education and SEO Blake Brown that I'm standing in for, we offer our thank yous and our appreciation and our support to the C.W. Prescod Primary School, the literacy coordinator, and all the students. And I am a big advocate of reading. I'm also a big advocate of diction, because I believe that reading cannot be divorced from diction. So as you celebrate reading, please celebrate diction also. Thank you, and may the God of heaven bless you.
Well said, Mr. Dover. And we are so happy to have children from the preschool and the preschool teachers, so you can hear what is being said here as you develop the children to come on to the primary system. Now, C.W. Prescott Primary School, we are an all-rounded school. We don't just do book. We train children in different areas, and one of the major areas that we are outstanding in is the music department. So at this time, we're going to have a cultural item with the students. Senior Education Officer, Mrs. Ethne Williams. We just want to recognize you. All right. Now, the Mustique Charitable Trust has been a friend of the C.W. Prescott Primary School. Not only have they been affiliated with the refurbishing of the library, we had some help from them during the COVID-19 pandemic where our students receive books. So, so as a result of that, many of our students, they were able to participate well in our classes because they have the necessary resources. So thank you again, Mustique Charitable Trust, for all that you have been doing for us. And at this point, we want to welcome a representative, Mrs. Dolly Malcolm, Project Director of the Mustique Charitable Trust, to bring some remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Permit me to adopt the protocol already established. Good morning, everyone. And especially good morning to the students, and a special good morning to those talented young men who just performed before me. I'm not sure. I'm at a disadvantage coming in after them. It is a pleasure to be here today and to represent the Mustique Charitable Trust and also the Mustique Charitable Foundation. To clarify, we're here for two events. One is for the opening of the library of the C.W. Prescod Primary School, a grand event, and commendation to the principal and staff and students here at the school for accomplishing this task. And we're also here for the handover of the books for the preschools here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So the library is being assisted by the Mustique Charitable Trust, and the handover of the preschool books is being funded by the Mustique Charitable Foundation. So we try to complement each other. It's two counterparts, but we all work in assisting the children of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is our main focus, is to help the children here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we try to spread our help across St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure we include, if not every child, but almost every child. As Madam Chair just mentioned, the Mustique Charitable Trust, we had a COVID-19 project where it included all primary schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it was to assist those students in need to obtain those core essential texts and workbooks. So again, the Mustique Charitable Trust and the Mustique Charitable Foundation, our focus is on assisting children with education. And we all know the importance of education for our children. And we always think that we have to ensure that all children, every child, have the resources to assist them to learn. We cannot sit back and look on at children not having the resources and then criticize that they do not perform. Without the proper resources, a child cannot learn. And I commend the C.W. Prescod for what was referred to as a well-rounded education, which enables these young students to be able to play the pan as beautifully as they did at the age that they're at. So let's acknowledge that at the age that they're at. So think about it. In a couple, like a decade or so from now, or even 5 years from now, imagine where those young men can be if we continue to encourage them and continue to have the resources for them to utilize, to learn, to play even better. Folks, we have very talented people here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And with those talented people, we can generate and assist with tourism. All these performers that we have, I've been to many of these opening ceremonies, and we have young people who step up and perform, whether it's to sing, whether it's to dance, whether it's to play an instrument. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to ensure that we encourage those children along those paths also. And that's why the library here at the C.W. Prescod is so important, because reading widens your knowledge. Reading enables you to educate yourself also. So when we all leave school, our learning doesn't stop there. And there was mention of the internet, but if you can read, and if you can read well and comprehend, you can use that internet to learn almost anything. You could use the internet and you can use reading to enable yourself to do anything, even go outside the box of what is being offered within the structured system. So again, I want to commend CW Prescod on achieving the library opening today. We anticipate to see the transformation, and to commend Hands Across the Sea and Tom and Harriet for the extraordinary job that they have done here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with providing what we refer to as alternative books to open up and widen the horizons for our children. Previously, they did work with the primary and secondary schools, and today they have ventured into the preschool. And I must commend this initiative because we all know that they say that as early as in the womb, if you start reading to a child, it becomes second nature. So what Hands Across the Sea is doing here today is capturing our children just as they enter what we refer to as the structured educational system. And if we start with them at that early age, it can only lead to successes. So I would like to implore to everyone here, we have a fantastic team of people here. Mr. Dover. Mr. Dover is, we've worked with Mr. Dover also. The Mustic Charitable Trust is so focused on education of the children here in St. Vincent that we've included Mr. Dover on a workshop last year. Some of the teachers here from CW Prescod probably was included in that. And as he said, literacy is a science. It's unfair of us to expect teachers to just go into the classroom and teach a child to read. Can any of you really think about it? How do you teach a child to read? How do you tell a child CAT is cat and get them to remember that CAT is cat? It's a science, a methodology, and Mr. Dover has mastered that. I'm not saying anything outside, all the teachers and Mrs. King is aware of this. So I commend Mr. Dover also for his contribution to customizing for the teachers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to learn how to teach our children how to read. And to all the principals, and to all the principals and teachers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let's put in our effort to include every child. Let's not leave any child behind because of if he's not capable or if we perceive he or she is not capable. Each child has a strength. Each child has a talent. If it is we get them interested in schoolwork because of the playing pan, let's do that. Let's find ways to get our children, our Vincentian children, let's find ways customized to us. Let's find our Vinci way to teach our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative from the Mustic Charitable Trust. And with the vision and the passion you have for education, I can almost assure you that this is not the last time you will be at a mic at the CW Prescod Primary School. The academic year 2018 to 2019 was a fruitful one for our students at the school library. Several students grew quite fond of it, to which they were awarded student library roles. One such student is here with us today. She's Hadassah Delpesh. She performed exceptionally well as a result of her role. She performed exceptionally well in her exit exam CPA. Today, Hadassah is here with us to tell us a bit of her experience as a student librarian at the C.W. Prescod Primary School.
Today I will be telling you how the library of the C.W. Prescod Primary School had impacted me. The first day at CWP Primary School was different than my school in Union Island. I will adjust soon enough. I couldn't wait to go to the public library to read on the afternoons after school. Soon I found out that CWP has a library, so I joined and didn't miss a day. However, in no time, I had read all the fiction books, so I started to go back at the public library. But soon enough, I found out that new books had arrived at CWP's library. I felt overjoyed and immediately started to go to visit the CWP's library once more. Break time, lunchtime, and every chance I got. Then the librarian had asked me to become a student librarian. And my yes has changed and impacted my life at the CWP Primary School. Using the library and becoming a student librarian at the CWP has developed me personally and taught me how to be disciplined, organized, and that there's a time and place for everything. Using the library means reading a lot, which I love to do. Reading a lot has developed my vocabulary and writing skills. I never struggled really in writing a good book report for the CPA. Also, my knowledge about the world increased and my big imagination. Not forgetting, of course, I had found lots of friends in these books. Being a student librarian means I must be disciplined, a skill that is needed for good success. There are certain shifts we student librarians had, a pair at lunch and a pair at break. This means we must take time for either break or lunch to make sure we reach early and start our shifts. I did not want to miss any. Therefore, I had to become more disciplined which helped me to be more focused. Being organized is a trait that everyone should possess. Color coding, tidying, and putting in order is all part of organizing a library. This helped me so much that I can organize books in the GHS library and organize my schoolwork and things at home too. It also helped me appreciate and respect those working in a library. It is not an easy task. Everyone should know that there's a time and place for everything. In the library, within our shifts, we must take care of the library. You cannot go out of your shift to play and leave your work partner alone. Nor can you eat in the library. You must set an example for other students and smaller children. This has not only helped me to understand that there is a time and place for everything, but also that there's work to be done much better as a team since we had to work in pairs, how to cooperate and how to be an example to others to take care of what I am doing seriously. All of what I had said, I had learned and had taken to me in GHS. I am proud to say that I was a student and a student librarian of the C.W. Prescod Primary School. For this school has won a special place in my heart. Thank you, CWP and the CWP Library for impacting me.
In our midst, we have some students who will be taking up the same role that Hadassah has benefited so overwhelmingly from. So Hadassah, I hope you can pass on those notes for them. All right? Now at this point, we're going to have remarks from the CIBC representative, Mrs. Jacinta Hines.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol having already been established. And Hadassah, I hope to meet some of those friends that you met in those books, okay? Congratulations to you. Okay, as part of CIBC's corporate social responsibility, we are proud to be associated and having established a partnership with Hands Across the Seas by providing a grant that will serve 12 schools and their libraries in 6 Caribbean countries. This support that stems from our ComTrust Foundation would have served 2,390 students with 5,659 books and trained 545 student librarians. This would only bring happiness to the kids that read these books, who yearn to read, to learn, and explore the world of ideas. Now, many of us may say, reading, why is it important? Reading is important because it helps us to learn new things, develop our thoughts, keep our minds active, and our brains healthy, just like how the muscles in our bodies need exercise. So you will notice that even our grandmas and grandpas, they still read books and newspapers, and they come with a wealth of knowledge. So children, it's important to listen to them. There are different kinds of books of all kinds, even in terms of their information that they provide. They come in stories, which can be quite entertaining, and they express thoughts and feelings. So I'll share with you some did you knows. Did you know that when you read, you increase your vocabulary, meaning that you know what certain words mean? Did you know when you read, it can relieve stress by relaxing your mind from studying hard in a day or even the pressures of work within a day? Did you know reading improves your memory and helps you to focus because your brain retains pieces of information? Did you know that reading can help you with how you write, as Hadassah said, your letters, your poems, stories, essays, and assignments, even in school? And did you know that reading is great company before going to bed? So I am trust that children here today, that bedtime stories are read to you, and you can read bedtime stories yourself. So it is a good measure in terms of calming your body and your mind. So now that you've learned a few things about reading books, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate C.W. Prescod and the principal, of course, in the reopening of your library. Congratulations to you. And to Hands Across the Seas for the initiative of which they are carrying out throughout the region to increase the literary skills in our children. At this point, I would like to make a presentation to the principal. Now, C.W. Prescod has been rewarded for being the top school for literacy in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, we would like to present you, there's a total of 447. Obviously, I couldn't put them in my hand, but I would like to make this presentation to you.
There are some little ones in our midst. And at this time, we're going to have some entertainment from the Vince Safe Child Development Center.
I present this little token of thank you to you for a job well done. You're welcome.
We were not quite finished with CIBC, but we just took a little break to have that little warning about not going back to the souffle. So at this point, I'm going to call back Miss Jacinta Hines and the principal of the CW Prescod Primary School, and there will be an exchange of a gift.
Ms. Hines, on behalf of the principal, gives to you this token of appreciation for your contribution towards our library. Thank you very much, and may the Lord continue to bless you.
Thank you so much.
And while we are with CIBC, I'll now invite Mrs. Ina Bullock to give some brief remarks.
Pleasant morning to everyone. I'll adopt the protocol that has already been established. I bring greetings to you from Hands Across the Sea and our new Executive Director, Miss Amanda Shirley. Tom and Harriet Lindsay, faces that we have grown very familiar with here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, have now retired. And this morning, I was very much impressed with the kind words that were said about them. I will convey appreciation to them on your behalf, CW Prescott and Mustique Charitable Trust. Now, while Harriet and Tom have retired, Harriet still sits on the board of directors. Hands Across the Sea is a name that we have grown accustomed to for some 13 years now. And I, as a past teacher and educator, would really express my appreciation to them for the great work that they have started and continued here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They were not able to make it down this year for their usual trip where they would visit the school libraries as COVID-19 unexpectedly stumped us. Nevertheless, from this whole experience of COVID, I am sure that we have all learned that a book is so convenient and it is irreplaceable. So when school came to an abrupt close, students were able to refer back to their longtime friends in the form of books. Now, just a little bit about what has transpired during the previous years. During these 13 years, we have strengthened our collaboration with the Ministry of Education in an effort to improve the literacy gains of our students here. Within recent times, we have worked very closely with the ELP team, and we can only hope that no stone will be left unturned by our teachers to equip our early graders with a solid reading foundation. Our schools have benefited from library books and other useful resources each year. From last year's shipment, that is school year 2019-2020, 24 schools received library books, 6 secondary schools, and 18 primary schools. Of those 24 schools, 10 started new libraries and 14 received top-ups to rejuvenate their existing library. So you can see, Hands Across the Sea has done its utmost best in terms of providing resources for our schools. We can only hope, and I can only remind our teachers that you have the power to create the environment to foster reading growth to your students. Let's take a look at this school year, 2020-2021 school year. We have donated 4,351 books to selected schools. These exciting and captivating books go to C.W. Prescod Primary, Myra Government, the Learning Center in Beckway, and also the Beckway Children Reading Club. And additionally, for the first time, we are working with our early childhood centers. And so 121 preschools will each receive a package of colorful, age-appropriate books. Now, so from in our early childhood area, we have 15 government early childhood centers, and the others, of course, are private preschools. But you have seen that we have not left anybody out. We have given each school, each preschool, a little piece of the cake that we received. We are extremely grateful to the Mustique Charitable Foundation, CIBC, First Caribbean International Bank, and Mr. John and Darcy Dillon for their generous contribution and commitment to Hands Across the Sea. So let's put our hands again for Mustique Charitable Foundation, CIBC First Caribbean International Bank, and John and Darcy Dillon for their generous contribution. It's all about putting our young students on a path for the future success of reading. Thank you very much.
At this point, a presentation is going to be done.
Okay, so I call on the Senior Education Officer for our early childhood to receive this package. And this is a symbolic package of 121 preschools.
We now move on to some brief remarks from EO, Early Childhood Education, Mrs. Marva Bino.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol has already been established. So On behalf of the Early Childhood Department, I thank Hands Across the Sea for donating these books to the preschools. We appreciate this effort very much, as access to books is essential to develop reading skills. We look forward to further collaboration with Hands Across the Sea in the future. And Madam Principal, we in the Early Childhood Department commend you for the opening of your library. You are on the right path. Thank you.
At this point, we're going to have some distribution of certificates to the student librarians.
Ebony Edwards. Levi Bonnet. Catherine Hosier. Amir Glasgow. Maya Glasgow, sorry. Maya Porter. Saraya. Saraya Jack. Christy Huggins. Perfect Cordis. And Mrs. Malcolm, before you have your seat, we have a presentation. On behalf of the principal, staff, and students of the CW we present to you this token of our appreciation for the contribution, and I should say the generous contribution that you have made to our school over the years. We do appreciate it, we love you, and we hope that this partnership with Mustic Charitable Trust Story will continue for a very long time. Thank you very much from the bottom of our heart.
Hello, Mr. Choral. Yeah, the whole team, with the principal and the character. And just please, science. Science. One up there, one up there.
But we are pleased to know that some of these hands are right here with us. And to this, we will now invite Miss Yvette Pompey, Mrs. Yvette Pompey, to continue the brief remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's still morning. And Anna and I, we walk with Hands Across the Sea, and it's indeed I'm sure a momentous occasion for you at CW Prescott as you celebrate the reopening of your library and being the recipient of this year 2020 Literacy Award. I'm the person who work with the school and Hands Across the Sea. So I visit CW Prescott School from time to time, and I've been observing them and their program and what they have been doing in the area of literacy. So you have been brief about the organization, so I will just do a brief overview of what I have seen that has been going on at CW Prescott and why they became the recipient of the Literacy Award for 2000. And for 2020, I don't know what's happening to my 20s. Eh? The library at the school is always buzzing with life. Every time you visit the library, there is always some activity going on in the library. And the school has a rich literacy program that is engaging the children and transforming them from where they are when they start school or preschool until they take their exit, like Adessa. So I must really commend the school on several points that I've observed and which shows their ability and their performance in literacy. The school has scheduled a timetable where each class is scheduled to come to the library, and the teachers do not send the children to the library. The teachers take the children to the library and use the resources in the library to reinforce what is taught in class. It indeed takes the effort of the principal, the teachers, the librarian, and the literacy committee to get this program of literacy going in this school, and I must commend you that you're doing an excellent job. Secondly, there is an integration between the library books and the lessons across the curriculum. When teachers take the class to the library, they model correct reading behaviors. Right, Mr. Dover? So they do the diction. They teach them the diction. Right. So they do that through their read-alouds. So they will introduce the children to books and they would read stories from them, and this would improve the children's literacy, fluency as they read. They build the children's comprehension skills by asking them questions. I've seen the teachers in action doing that. The children are asked to make prediction, make inferences, do evaluation, and all those other higher order literacy skills. The teacher also promote vocabulary development with new words encountered in the story. They discuss story elements and other literacy endeavors. Additionally, a remedial program is carried out as part of the promotion for reading, and this is done by Ms. Brown, who carries on a remedial literacy class within the school. Students who are experiencing delays in literacy come to the library to receive special instruction in the science of teaching reading. And they cater for the children's interest and the need where they're at. So they start from the lower grade right up, I know, to grade 3 and 4 children come to the remedial program. And the children really enjoy the reading. The teachers make sure that the reading is fun, and the students are allowed to read in pairs, to read with their buddies, and so on. Also, thirdly, the library is always accessible. When you come to the school, the library is always open. Someone is always in the library. So the children can go to the library at lunchtime, as you heard Adassa said, break time, and before home, even before they go home, there's an extra half an hour that the children can stay at school while they wait for their parents. they stay in the library and do some extra reading. So there are really a lot of programs that the school is engaging in. There is also promotion at the library to showcase the different genres of books. And during the when you visit the library, it's never the same. The displays are always different. The books display are always set up differently. Is that true, Adessa? Yes. And so, whether it's Christmas, you will see they take on the ambience of Christmas. If it's Independence, it would showcase that. If it's Valentine's, it would show that. So this library is always alive, always active, always current. Very good for CWP. Also, teachers collaborate with the librarian, which was Miss Noel at that time. And they consult her, they collect resources for book reports. And sometimes when I come, I will meet a teacher before she has a lesson, and she will be going through some of the resources. So I'll ask her what she's going to do with this book. She says the children are going to do their book report, and they're doing non-fiction. So she was picking out some non-fiction books so that the children can do their book report. So the library and literacy, the literacy is always connected in this school to the library. And students are also trained in the library to become students' librarian. These students volunteer their time and they help to run the library. They take an interest in keeping the library vibrant, welcoming, and tidy. In return, as we learn, they learn how to manage their time. They learn leadership skills. They learn to keep record. And they learn interpersonal development skills where they know how to interact with people without getting into fights. So at CW Prescod, they'll use the library and literacy for the all-round development for the children here at this school. So I must, on behalf of Hands Across the Sea, congratulate you in your accomplishment in making sure that these children become readers, and not only that, that they become lifelong learners. Thank you. At this time, on behalf of Hands Across the Sea, I'm going to present the black banner. And I'm asking two students, three or four student librarians, and the principal to help hold it.
Glad to have a meal. Stay in the middle. Okay.
So it reads, excellence in the advancement of literacy. And you're recognized by Hands Across the Sea. So congratulations to you.
Okay, don't go. Don't go. Yes.
I'd like to present to you a token from the CW Prescod Primary School on behalf of the principal, staff, and students. Continue blessings on Hands Across the Sea.
At this time, we are going to showcase more of our talents here at the CW Prescod Primary School. We're going to have a choral speech.
If we all may hear the latest news, it's so sad. Where you mean that put them, nobody is dead. But as my grandmother said, in certain situations you better have. What? Speak the English language to me. Me not understand what you are saying. Alright. You know, time to lose your son to live down the road or around the corner across the road from Papa John's. Oh, look what happened. Well, I hear it's bully his way to school. He was supposed people to his way from and he took go to school a lot. So true? You know, he was married, right? Yes, he's married to a nice lawyer. Was, and that's anything. Well, I'm going to tell him to say the story now and the other piece later because you're booked up too. Hurry up. Tell me please now. I hear he used to entry to a bad. Yeah, right. He used to be chipotle, breakfast, and then but Granny got sick, does run until they catch him. So I knew I found out that the country, she'd be film. She organized a paper and have him sign over That's true. Anyway, it's time for our book club. Let's go. Come, one and all. Come, let us be now. Come and have your ball. Reading, fun. Reading, do it everyone. Grab a book, don't delay. Read a boy, bring the cake. Come and let us read now and join in the reading till it. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start reading. We can read. On this auspicious occasion, we, the students of the C.W. Prescod Primary School, are overjoyed. We would like to express our sincerest gratitude to Hands Across the Sea for operating our school library. Hands across the sea, hands across the sea, hands across the sea, here at CWP. Building literacy, creating community, helping you and me right here at CWP. Thank you, Hands Across the Sea.
Can sit, you know. All right, one and all. I hope at this point you're all convinced that we have been doing an excellent job at this school. Our panel, choral speech, all the displays you see here, this is just a tip of the iceberg. All right, and at this point, going to invite Mrs. Twyla Thompson, Miss Twyla Thompson, another person from our literacy faculty here, to do the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Protocol being established. It is my honor, on behalf of the principal, staff, and students of the C.W. Prescod Primary School, to convey sincere gratitude to those who would have contributed in one way or another to making this auspicious occasion a reality. First of all, sincerest thanks to the Almighty God for allowing us to be here this morning. Thanks to the chairperson, Mrs. Norma Gurley, for so ably chairing the ceremony this morning. Thank you, Mrs. Luann Wilson, for the opening prayer. Special thanks to our dear principal, Mrs. Suzette Abbott-King. I always say that she's a principal who gets the job done. Yes. And clearly here this morning it's evident, isn't it? Yes, it is. To Mr. Asif Dover, thank you very much for reminding us of the importance of reading. Thanks also to Mrs. Ethne Williams for gracing us with your presence. And thanks also to the students who performed with such great excellence this morning. Clearly, CWP is rich with talent, right? And even to the preschoolers. Sincerest gratitude to Mustique Charitable Trust, represented by Mrs. Dolly Malcolm. The contribution made by your company will go a long way in ensuring that a conducive and comfortable environment is created for our students as they read and engage in various reading activities. Profound appreciation to Hands Across the Sea, represented this morning by Mrs. Yvette Pompey and Mrs. Ina Bullock. And special thanks to Ms. Jacinta Hines, the representative from CIBC. Both institutions would have contributed towards the purchasing of books for the library. Indeed, the literature provided will be of significant benefit to the students. Thank you, Hadassah, for leading by example, always ensuring that you made use of the library, and thanks for sharing the impact it would have had on your development. Thanks to the media department at the curriculum unit, IKTV, and NBC Radio for providing coverage of the ceremony. Special thanks to Mrs. Ann Gordon, our literacy coordinator, and the committee for assisting with the planning of this event. Also thanks to Ms. Ruthlyn Brown for assisting with the decorating of the library. I must say thanks again to all our invited guests and students. Thank you for celebrating with us. We surely appreciate it.
And thank you to Ms. Twyla Thompson for all your thank yous. At this time, we'll move on with the cutting of our ribbon, followed by an invitation to view our newly renovated library, and as the head teacher calls it, our new renovated literacy center.